Hey, what's up guys, enough, and welcome to another PC build video. But today is special and confusing, and a lot of people are going to be talking about that this is more like a clickbait video, but it's not. I'm just preparing this for the future. So yeah, there's even pictures of the product. The moment it get released, just get it. Anyways, today's PC build video is about the RTX 5070. Because we talk about that graphics card in a good way and a bad way at the same time. So the good thing about the RTX 5070 is the fact that it's 12 gigs of VRAM. It's pretty good amount of VRAM. It's a GDDR7, so it's pretty quick. Pretty good. It's built really differently and nice. It has a cool design. It's, well, at least for the Founders Edition. It has a lot of cool features. There's a lot of things that they changed, which is interesting. There's a lot of things that are concerning, but there's also a lot of things that are actually cool. Hopefully they actually finally added DisplayPort 2.1 and all, which is good. And it has a quote-unquote the performance of an RTX 4090, which that card costs $2,000. On that later. All that for, well, $549, which is a cheap price point. I was kind of questioning how they will do, fix or try to get people attention after the leaks and all, especially with the RTX 5060 and 5050's problem, and also because of the whole idea and whatnot. And what they did is they did a RTX 30 series scenario and give like good prices, which is concerning because the last time there was a good prices for a good graphics card, that was on the time when things happened. So I was concerned. I was kind of questioning like, how is this gonna go? So the prices are interesting. It feels like a good timing. The good timing to buy these cards. At least when it comes to the 5070, that is something that a lot of people are just interested to get, especially for the price point. With that said, there's a couple of things. Again, I'm making this PC build because I feel like people will build something with this card, not for the 4090 performance, but because it's a good card in general, and it should do the job for most people if you're in that type of place. 1440p cable graphics card, or something that it's good in general. Especially with the frame generation technology, that's the DLSS 4 having a better frame generation technology, which we'll get to this. That's the thing. So it's great, but I hate when they keep mentioning 4090 performance. They should just remove that, because the whole idea of 4090 performance is just because they're using frame generation. When it comes to actual like graphical performance without any fake or AI generated stuff, true performance wise, no, it's not a 4090. It will probably be higher than a 4070 Ti, maybe close to like a 4080. I could say that, but it's not 4090. It's definitely not. What it's doing essentially, it's using frame generation to to pretty much just get the idea of frame generation, though. It gives you fake frames. It's not real frames, and if you're playing story games, you might not notice or not be that bothered, depending on the scenario. But there will be a couple games, and there will be a couple things that you'll be noticing weird artifacts and weird stuff on the screen, and that's because of fake frames. So the whole idea is it's getting 4090 performance by using a technology that allows to give that is specific amount of frames or even higher. By the end of the day, real performance, because again, it's not like you're going to be playing every, only DLSS 4 games. You probably play like normal games without any of those technology. You will see that the performance is still lower than a 4090. So anyone who might be thinking like it's a 4090 performance, no, it's not. It's just using a tech to like give a 4090 performance by look. Or rather frames, to be more exact. But in terms of like actual performance? No. If not, especially if you're just talking about like pure performing card, the 49 is still better. It's still much, much better. I'll probably say like maybe the 5080. That's where it's gonna perform better, if not the same or better than a 49. That's reason that would make more sense. And also, if I recall, that card is not expensive as I remember. It's like around 1,000-ish. Yeah, for $1,000, which is the RTX 5080, you will get the same performances of a 4090, like actual real performance of a 4090. At least for the most part. But yeah, no, the 5070 won't get real performance of a 4090. Frame generation like performance or any technology that's helping, sure, but actual pure performance, no. And you will notice that the moment you play a normal game without any of that stuff, just normal frames that's gonna give you, you'll notice that there's a huge difference. So yeah, but with that said, it is a card with great technologies, with new technologies, with the annoying frame generation, which can be helpful or can be annoying depending on the scenario. Again, there's a whole explanation on the internet on why frame generation is great, but also not as great. And you might notice or may not notice whole upscaling stuff, which I will have to say, upscaling on those cards are getting even better. It's surprising as well. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about pure performance without any of that stuff, there's a difference. So yeah. With that said, if you're looking for a card that's very good for a good budget, that could play games at 1440p, great for 1080p, of course, but also good for 1440p. And also, you could play 4K. I wouldn't recommend it, though. But, like, you could play at 4K at 60-ish, depending on the game. Some games might get less. Some games might get more. Or just use DLSS. You know, but it's mostly for, like, 1440p games in general. It's mostly for, like, 1440p. So, yeah. This is the PC. This is the type of graphics card. And this PC build is for you. Especially if you're planning to build with that graphics card around $1,000. This PC build, again, it's more of an idea. Okay, it's just what I think it would work. You could just change things. You could just find something better. You could find something that could make it better for this PC build. But in general, this is a PC build using the graphics card. Again, the graphics card is not even released. It's not released. Okay, this is just a future build. If you're planning to build it anyways and you want help, this is it. I'm helping. So, without wasting time, let's get right to the PC build, shall we? Starting off with the build is the processor. The processor of choice is going to be Intel Core i5-13400F. It's a 10-core processor, 6 cores and 4 efficiency cores. A total of 10. It is the weakest, but not like actually decent processor. I would probably recommend it even more than a Ryzen 5, depending on the type of Ryzen 5, of course. But in general, it's not a bad CPU, and it's not as great. It's like something that's good. It is 10 cores, quote unquote, so you would benefit something with it. You could like use the performance scores for gaming, and then you know the efficiency scores for like other things. So that's the benefit with this CPU. Also, it's a newer CPU, so it should perform better than the previous ones. In general, it's not bad. There's no integrated graphics though, but that's fine since we're using a discrete graphics. So yeah, we're going with it. The motherboard went with the MSI Pro B760M-P. It's DDR4, and well, that's pretty much it. Look, it supports the processor. It's not as great as a motherboard as you could think of. It's okay. It will run. I would probably recommend something better than this, but because of the price point of the PC build itself, I went with the cheapest one. Again, I would recommend something better, but for the price point, it's not a bad motherboard in general. In some ways. So when it comes to the ports, there is good amount of ports. Ish. I mean, mostly the ports are USB 2.0, so that's kind of disappointing. When it comes to USB 3.0 or above, there's only 2. That's the Type A port, which is a 5 gigabit connection, and the Type C port, which there is for the price point for this motherboard, that is 10 gigabits. So technically speaking, you get some USB 3.0 technology, but it's few. It's not as much. Again, it's better than nothing, I guess. So in a general sense, this would be fine for the most part. Especially if you're just planning to play games, it should be fine. If you're doing something more, maybe a better motherboard would be better. But in general sense, this should do. For the RAM, we went with the Silicon Power Gaming 16 gigs. Is 16 gigs. It's dual 8 gig sticks. It's 3200 megahertz. It will run the CPU. It will run this build in general. We're going with it. When it comes to the storage, we went with the Silicon Power XS70. It's 1 terabyte of Gen 4 SSD. There's even a heatsink in it. I did my research. It is not a bad SSD. Silicon Power is a company that I'm not that familiar. I'm not really a fan of like other companies. There are some like Chinese brands that are not that bad, but this one is not as familiar to me. But in terms of technological part of it, it's not bad. It's actually quite good. And it was the cheapest one of the other one, but it was the cheapest one with a heatsink. Yeah, we're going with it, especially with the motherboard having barely even. Anyways, we're going with it. Now, for the graphics card, we went with the Asus Prime RTX 5070. Again, in terms of price point, this might be more expensive, especially since there's a 3-fan design. So it might be more than the $550 price point. So I'm still going with a $550 price point just because to make this PC build even make sense. Technically speaking, I'm adding the price point from the Founders Edition rather than the actual price point for this specific one. So keep that in mind. But yeah, we're going to add a RTX 5070. Specifically, I added this one because of the color. It's black. It's nice design. It's simpler. I like this. I don't like Asus, but I like the design for this thing. It's nice. Now, powering this whole system is going to be the Afire Galaxy 850 watts gold certified power supply. It's semi-modular. And now, here's the thing. They say minimum of 650. Of course, you never do the minimum because, especially with a new graphics card and their peak of power. So 750 would be recommended. I went with 850 because why not? First, it was the cheapest one. And second, I would go with 850 if you, for some reason, want to add an Intel Core i9 or Ryzen 9. That's the amount of power you will probably need for that. Also, upgradability options. So, yeah, it's a bit too much, but, you know, it powers the system, and you can just upgrade in the future for something even higher. So, we're going with it. Now, for the case, we went to the ADATA XPG Defender. This case is surprisingly good for the price point. It is cheap, but there's a lot of cool things about it. It's, you know, glass front. There's even the panel that's magnetic. You can remove it magnetically, which is nice, especially for the price point. It's mesh, again, for the price point. It's big. There's literally like two to three fans in the front. I don't remember exactly, and a fan in the back. So there's some good cooling and ventilation inside. And in a general sense, it's not a bad case. You can even add a AIO in every single corner, like in the back, top, front, anywhere. So for the price point, this might be the new cheap but great cases you can buy now. Heck, I was surprised. I mean, it even supports like an RTX motherboard size. So probably the best budget case I've seen. I might be wrong, but really it's, in my opinion, the best. Heck, there's even a place to add the hard drives there. There's even a place for the SSD, good cable management. I mean, it's, how is it cheap? Now, the total price point for this PC build is around $1,018. So slightly more expensive than $1,000. It's $18, but let's be honest, it's $18. Who cares? But in general sense, this is a great PC build. At least in my opinion, it's good. Maybe some might think that the power supply, the CPU, not the power supply, might not be as good. Or even the power supply. But in a general sense, yes, you might be better with a better CPU. But again, for the price point, unless you're getting a used CPU, then sure. But talk about new parts, and that's probably where you would probably go with in terms of new parts. But yes, I would recommend a better motherboard and a better CPU. Most because you will do better with those. 16 gigs will be just fine, especially if you're just planning to play games, and everything else is fine. So that is it for today's video. Again, if you want to change anything in this PC build, or you guys think there's something that could have been done, comment down below, share this video, give a like. Subscribe today for more content. Share this video to your friends, to your family, to your friends. I just said already friends. I meant to say pets, but I meant to say friends. Unless you think of your friends as pets. That's... anyways. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, share your thoughts. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. And my subscribers finally hit 760 and above. Thank God. Anyways, let's get more. So, yeah. Thank you so much for subscribing. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. There's a couple of videos I'm planning to do. That's why I'm doing this one. I'm going to be working on 2 specific videos, which are interesting. Yep, and I will be releasing it this month, hopefully. I've been on a vacation. To be frankly honest, I've been on a vacation until like a couple of days ago. Until a couple of days it's going to end. But I have enough time to work on these things, or I'm supposedly supposed to have enough time. But you know, I'm not living alone, so I am trying to use as much time as possible to work on what I'm doing. So. Yeah, but yeah, there's gonna be videos that's gonna be released at least once a week this month. It's gonna be filled with videos this week. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys liked it. Comment down below, share this video, give a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And remember to subscribe and share. So peace.